hate to think how much money was spent by Dorset Council and Dorset Police when it shut down what they report to have been an illegal rave. Bearing in mind that raves per se are not illegal, they are simply parties, but it's the actions of the party that may be considered illegal. So when news reports call something an illegal rave, just remember that it's simply using buzzwords to make it sound like it was a bad thing to do. Allegedly, more than 1,000 people descended on a field in the village of East Lulworth in the early hours of Sunday morning, which is said to have caused mayhem. Dorset Police, MOD, Dorset Council and Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue were all involved in an operation to disperse the partygoers, which is said to have achieved its aim more than 21 hours after police first ordered the crowds to go home. Now, there is a video I will show you at the end of this report to show you just how bad the rave was and how you can imagine how it would upset locals. I think you'll be surprised when you see it. Dorset Police force cordoned off roads and ordered people to leave using powers under the Public Order Act, but by 1 PM the party was still in full swing. A post about the event on Dorset Police's Facebook page received more than 1,000 comments on Easter Sunday, mostly telling the force not to ruin the party and comparing it to lockdown rule breaking by politicians. One Facebook user commented, "Well, from what I've heard, they were only there for less than 10 minutes and it's a business meeting. Boris can do what he wants, so they can too. Why not try and find some real criminal behaviour?" Another said, "They're just having a bit of cake and 10 minutes to polish off cheese and wine. When the people that govern our country don't even follow the rules, how can you expect a few peaceful, happy music-loving ravers to do so?" Deputy Chief Constable Sam de Raya said on Thursday evening, "Throughout the incident we worked in partnership with other public sector and military agencies to achieve the positive resolution. Police officers entered the site and directed people to leave the scene of the unlawful gathering using powers under the Public Order Act. Due to the large scale of the event and the inherent impact on dispersing such a high number of people, this process took some time. In our operations, we always have to balance enforcement activities with the safety of our officers and all those involved. Making sure that a site is cleared without any escalation or moving the risk to our road network is always a difficult process." The Deputy Police Constable added a police presence would remain in the area and thanked local residents for their patience. The force said previously it would be investigating any criminal offences with a view to prosecution. Some pissed off locals have described the sound like rolling tanks and gunfire, keeping them up throughout the night, and have since complained of the subsequent traffic chaos on the narrow lanes as tourists flocked to the coast during the Easter Sunday. However, the police had already said that they had cordoned off roads. So I put it to you that the traffic chaos was due to the police's actions and not those of the revellers who were in a field. Especially as reports suggest that partygoers parked their cars and simply walked through the road closures. Now, the land is said to possibly be owned by the MOD and that the land is a firing range, but as yet I've not seen anything conclusive to verify that. But if it is true, then under Military Lands Act 1892, the Secretary of State can make bylaws as to the use of such land, and this includes making it private. In fact, I believe that military land in some cases can be covered by the Serious Organised Crime and Police Act 2005, which makes trespassing on certain areas of land a criminal offence rather than a civil matter. So if the ravers were on such land, then they could be trespassing or fall under the Serious Organised Crime and Police Act. However, I've been unable to find the exact location of the event, but from Google Maps, it seems that the Bovington military base boundary is far enough from local residents' properties for the rave not to have affected them if it was indeed on MOD land. Grant Ems, who owns a nearby campsite, said, "I thought it was the tanks at Bovington first. I could hear this rumbling, then I thought I heard what sounded like gunfire. I thought, that's odd, they're firing in rhythm. It wasn't until later that I realised it was music. Only yesterday guests were telling me how lovely and quiet it is here. The road closure is going to be a real kick between the legs for small businesses at Durdle Door. It's the first weekend of the summer and people can't get to them." So a local resident thought it was the army barracks, which would have been okay, but when he realised it wasn't shelling practice, it was music and people might be enjoying themselves, it then became an issue. Behave, mate. As for the road closures, it was the police who closed the road. Probably nothing to do with the party goers, but to make out to residents it's their fault to garner more support to get rid of them. Dorset Police's Deputy Chief Constable Rave said the illegal event had caused distress and disruption to local residents and also to livestock on surrounding farmlands. I bet the local sheep were jamming the phone lines to report the distress and disruption it caused them, especially when bombs exploding and other artillery fire wouldn't shock the animals at all now, would it? Dorset said it will come as no surprise that emergency services are already busy on a beautiful sunny Easter weekend, and such irresponsible behaviour is adding to the demand. As there are army training sites in the area, those attending the event are potentially putting themselves in danger by crossing at these locations. Officers have entered the site and ordered all those present to leave using powers under the Public Order Act. At the time of the event, a spokesperson for Dorset Police said, "We have received a number of calls from concerned and upset residents who have had their sleep disturbed by the noise levels coming from the event. We would like to send a direct message at the event. You are trespassing. Please leave and go home immediately." Now again, the cost of this intervention by police and council must have been huge. I wonder why they simply didn't just let it fizzle out, especially as it certainly didn't appear to be as bad as made out by the police and residents. In fact, here's some footage of the so-called rave. Note that I've not adjusted the volumes or anything else in any way. This is the raw footage as I found it.
Yes, Leo!
What a joke. What a joke you are, Dorset Police. And while you're out looking to punish people for enjoying themselves, the 15 police constables that you have to cover that entire part of the county could have been out catching real criminals. And yes, I know some people will say that, well, they couldn't be catching real criminals because these idiots partying. But it's not the partygoers who took the decision to stop themselves that took police resources away from other areas, is it? The rave itself isn't and wasn't illegal. Some of the actions taken may have been, but providing the police simply kept an eye on the event rather than taking up resources for some 21 hours, then what harm is actually done? Especially as you can see from the footage, the number of people at the level and the level of volume was clearly exaggerated. Big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.